The Trump Justice Department today indicted former FBI Director James Comey for this Instagram post. The allegation? It was an incitement of violence against the president. The department went to the Eastern District of North Carolina to obtain this indictment. It comes as Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, President Trump's former personal attorney, has made it abundantly clear he would like to be nominated for Attorney General. Pam Bondi, fired last month as Attorney General, drew Trump's wrath in part because of a perceived ineffectiveness in pursuing Trump's political enemies. This context cannot be separated from the Comey indictment today. Interestingly, today also saw a new development in the case of James Comey's daughter, Maureen Comey. A federal judge ruled that Maureen Comey, a prominent former federal prosecutor, can proceed with her lawsuit against the Trump Justice Department for her termination. Maureen Comey's suit alleges she was fired, quote, solely or substantially because her father is former FBI Director James B. Comey, or because of her perceived political affiliation and beliefs, or both, unquote. There was also a significant appeals court ruling today against Trump administration mass deportation policy. A 3-0 ruling from the Second Circuit Court rejected efforts to deport people without release on bond if they have no criminal records and have lived in America for years or decades. Federal Appeals Court Judge Joseph Bianco, a Trump appointee, said the policy amounted to a seismic shock to established immigration detention procedures and constituted a, quote, radical break from precedent far beyond congressional intent. This ruling, we should note, conflicts with much more sympathetic rulings from the Fifth and Eighth Circuit Courts of Appeal, meaning Supreme Court review of this matter is virtually certain. All of these legal events serve as an unintended and a somewhat blurry constitutional backdrop for the second day of King Charles's visit to America, a visit to honor our 250th birthday, a birthday announced to the world via a Declaration of Independence from the British monarchy that decried, and I quote, repeated injuries and usurpations of law. For more on the James Comey indictment, we turn to Katrina Kaufman, who's here with me in New York. Katrina, talk about the indictment and, well, first, I want to play what the Acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, said about the indictment today. Let's hear that.
I think it's fair to say that threatening the life of anybody is dangerous and potentially a crime. Threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice.
So, Katrina, this sounds like it's a new matter. It's not necessarily a new matter.
That's correct, Major. This is something that was looked into. It took place almost a year ago, actually. James Comey was on vacation in North Carolina. He says that he saw this configuration of seashells on the beach, took a photo, posted it. The Secret Service actually tracked him and his wife down, ended up interviewing him on the phone in person. He said that he was not making any threat to the life of the president, and at the time the matter was dropped. We're now seeing it revived, and this also comes after a prior effort to indict James Comey on totally separate charges was ultimately dismissed. But the specific charges we're seeing now are knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and cause bodily harm to the President of the United States. And then another one related to transmitting interstate and foreign commerce, a communication that threatens to kill the president. So there are a couple important elements here. One is the knowingly and willfully. So there has to be intent. This notion of intent to cause harm to the president, there is a very high bar. This also implicates free speech, true threats. And then there's the element that a reasonable person has to have understood that that is what this message was supposed to mean. If they saw it, that they would have realized that he was saying, you should assassinate the President of the United States.
Because 86 in some context can be interpreted as a cancel or kill idea or notion.
Correct. And that 47, Trump says, refers to him as the 47th President of the United States. However, Major, this made it past a grand jury. We know that that is a significantly lower bar, although DOJ is not always even successful with them these days. But will it make it past a judge? Will she say, when she looks at this, yes, I can see that you can actually define these two elements, 86 and 47, as a threat against the president? And if it comes to it, will it make it past a jury?
And worth noting again that this was looked at by the self-same Trump Justice Department a year ago. No charges brought then, but brought now. Katrina Kaufman, really helpful. Thank you so very much.